In this video, we're going to continue to work with the getTasks request, allowing the client making the request to sort the data in a specific order. So now that we have timestamps enabled, they could sort by when the task was last created or last updated, or they could sort by the completed value, putting the complete tasks first or putting the incomplete tasks first. So let's go ahead and start by looking at that URL structure, and then we'll actually worry about implementing this into the JavaScript code below. Right here, it's still get/tasks, and the option we're going to be setting up support for could be called something like sort or sort by. This is going to allow someone to specify the sorting criteria, and there are typically two pieces to the value. The first is the field we're trying to sort by, and the second is the order. So do I want to sort in an ascending fashion, which would be something like 0 through 10 with numbers, or a descending fashion, which would be 10 through 0. So we can specify that using the following. Right here, let's say we want to sort by the created at field. So I want to sort my tasks by when they were created. Now, this alone isn't enough. Do you want to sort them with the newest first or the oldest first? So the next thing we provide is whether it's in an ascending sort or a descending sort. There are a few different ways you can do this. The most common is to use a character like the underscore to separate the two. So right here, created at underscore ASC for ascending, or created at underscore DESC for descending. Now, if you're someone who likes to use underscores in your field names, you could always switch this up to a colon. Any special character in there would get the job done. Later on, we'll be splitting this string on that special character to break it up into its two component pieces so we can set up the sorting correctly. So in this case, I would be sorting my tasks by when they were created in a descending fashion. Now let's see what this is actually going to look like by modifying the populate call below. We'll do this with a hard-coded value, then we'll actually accept and parse sort by as an option. Down below, we specify our sorting criteria by setting up another property on that options object. This one, appropriately enough, is called sort, and in here we can pick the field we want to sort by. So let's say I do want to sort by created at. I would simply list that field out. Then I provide the order in which I want to sort. Ascending would be 1, right here is 1, and descending would be -1. So this is how we're actually going to set things up in terms of the call to populate. So let's go ahead and see this in action. I'm just going to hard code us sorting created at in a descending fashion. We'll head over to Postman and see what we get. Right here, I'll remove everything related to pagination, so all 4 come back. And what am I getting? I'm getting the tasks in the reverse order. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then 1st at the bottom, because this is them sorted by created at in a descending fashion. We have the newest ones first, and we have the oldest ones last. Now, if I wanted to reverse that, I could sort by created at, setting it equal to 1, and in this case, I would see them in the order in which we created them. So I have first up top, then 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now I could also sort by something else, so let's go ahead and remove created at, and instead sort by completed. Right here, I'm going to start by sorting in a descending fashion using -1. Now if I fire this off in Postman, what are we going to get? Well, right here, we can see we have our complete tasks showing up top and our incomplete ones down below. If I wanted to see my incomplete tasks first, I could go ahead and sort in an ascending fashion by setting completed equal to 1. Right here, we'll fire off a request for the last time for the moment in Postman, and I can see that I have my incomplete tasks up top. So this is the basic behavior we'll be using. The only thing we need to do is allow the user to customize it by actually providing that in the URL. So let's go ahead and start with this. We'll try to sort by created at in a descending fashion. So over here, we'll set that up. The query string, sort by, setting it equal to, we're going to sort by created at, then our special character, whether it's an underscore, a colon, or anything else, followed by the order, either ascending or descending. I'll use DESC for descending. Now, if I fire that off, the data isn't being used, but we're going to go ahead and change that. Now, once again, this is a situation similar to how we set up completed. There's a chance they might want to sort in ascending or descending. There's also a chance they don't specify sort by at all. So we can't actually provide any information right here. Instead, we're going to do what we did with match. We'll create the empty object and we'll use it down below, and there's a chance we'll actually customize it. So right here, what we're going to do is create an empty sort object. We're then going to use that sort object as the value for this right here. I'll remove the hard-coded version and use the shorthand syntax to set sort equal to the sort variable's value. Now we can see if sort by was actually provided, and if it was, we'll set something up on the sort object. So if request.query.sortBy, if that is defined, what do we need to do? Well, we need to go ahead and break up the value, which would be all of this. What I want to do is split it by that special character so I can get the two individual pieces. Right here, let's go ahead and knock that out. Now, to do this, let's start by creating a variable, a const called parts. And what we're going to do is get its value from the following. We're going to use request.query.sortBy. So this is the string value provided, and we know it's provided because we have our if statement right here. And we're going to split it. We'll be using the string split method to split it up by the colon or the underscore, whatever special character you're choosing to work with. Now down below, let's use those two parts to set up something on the sort object. So down below, when we had manually done it, sort had the field we were trying to sort by as the only property on that object. Right here, we have to do the same thing. Now we don't have a static name like sort.completed@. Since it's not hard-coded, the user is providing the name of the property we need to set. So what we do is we use the bracket notation, and the value comes from a variable. It's in the parts array. It is the first one. So here I'm grabbing the first item in the parts array, and I'm using it as the name of the property we're setting on sort. Now with that in place, we have to set that property value equal to either 1 or -1, as we just saw when we set up our populate call with static data. Now, we don't have 1 or -1. We have descending or ascending, ASC or DESC. We're going to convert that to either 1 or -1 using the ternary operator down below. So we start off with our condition right here. I want to look at that second part right here. I want to see if it is equal to the following string, DESC. Is this person trying to sort in a descending fashion? Now with the ternary operator, the resolved value is one of two things. If this is true, it's whatever we put after the question mark, which we know is -1 for descending. If this is not true, if it's false, then the value would be whatever is after the colon. So here the ternary operator is called the ternary operator because there are three pieces. We have our condition, we have the value for when the condition is true, and the value for when the condition is false. So this is going to make sure that the sort object gets set up correctly. Now with this in place, we're actually done and we can test things out to make sure we can indeed sort. So over in Postman, we have created at in a descending fashion. I'm going to go ahead and fire that off, and down below, what do I get? That's exactly what I get. I have fourth, third, second, and then way at the bottom, I have first. Now I could swap out descending for ascending. And if I fire that off, what do I get? I can see I have first up top, followed by second, third, and fourth. Now we can string together all of the available options to do multiple things at the same time. For example, I could get all of my incomplete tasks, sort them by when they were created, and then I could use pagination to get the first 10 followed by the second 10. So with these options in place, what we're giving the client the ability to do is really customize the data that comes back. Without these options, they would always get back all of their tasks, and as I mentioned, that can get out of hand really quickly as more and more documents get added to the database. This can slow down your server, and it's also definitely going to slow down the client device. Whether it's a desktop, laptop, or mobile phone, it's going to have to request a huge unnecessary amount of data. By providing a few simple options and adding maybe 13 lines of code to our router, we were able to give that client complete control over the data they're getting back. That's going to make sure their app can stay nice and fast and snappy, and it's also going to make sure that our server isn't constantly querying and sending back thousands of records, which is going to take more time than it otherwise would need to. Now, as always, if you have questions about anything covered here, just crack open a new question in the course Q&A, and we'll get back to you right away. That's where we're going to stop for this video and for this section. In the next section, we're going to dive into a very exciting topic, which is file upload. So we'll figure out how we could upload something like a profile picture for a user account. Let's go ahead and jump into the section introduction for that one.